I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways.
I'm about to drop some hugely powerful alpha. And that's what they call it. They call it alpha, believe me. Okay? And not many people know this, but alpha means that I know big things, strong things, powerful things. So here's the alpha, folks. If you want to be hugely rich like me, you got to join and subscribe to the BLEEVESCRYPTO YouTube channel. You got to become a member because many people say, quite frankly, it's the strongest YouTube channel out there. It's fantastic. It's the best. So let me know what you think, folks. Funny Donald Duck.
I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 Lady, and I got my shine. Money in my pocket and we're feeling fine. Radio's loud and we're playing Sublime. I think it's gonna be a good day, my oh my. I can't believe I made it this far, it's a miracle. Floating in the clouds now, used to be miserable. Never looking back since I changed my ways. I'm on that good life tip today. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go there with me, girl. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Baby, we can have it all. We can make love by the waterfalls. I'm living that good life after all. Yeah. La da da da, good life, sitting by the fire. La da day, good life, feeling that breeze.
What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great morning. My name is Bleeves. This is Breakfast with Bleeves. And guys, if you are watching the crypto market right now, then you are witnessing the revival. You can't hold it down. You can't keep crypto down for any length of time at this point. You know why? Because crypto is at this point inevitable. It's so inevitable, in fact, that as of this morning, there is a USD Bitcoin stablecoin that's been launched, and we're going to talk about that for a little bit today. We've got the U.S. Consumer Confidence Index, which is rising. Are we in altcoin season? No. We love to be in altcoin season, though, right? Am I right? Like we would love to see a nice little blow off. But guess what? Speaking of blow offs, Bitcoin busted through the top of my little green area on its way to 30,000 just a few short hours ago. Will we see it start to pump again? Well, according to the U.S. market, we're about to see that. So, this is really, there's a lot going on. And even in the current climate, in the climate, by the way, the climate is negative. There's nothing positive that we're finding in any of the markets across the world except cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency continues during this to thrive. And we got some more data coming out on Friday with the U.S. government, and we'll start to see how this all breaks down, or if it breaks down, or if things just get crazy. But let's dig in and let's figure out what is going on in this absolutely bonkers and crazy world of cryptocurrency. So, first, Dow Jones futures up 226. Holy shit. The S&P up 34. Holy shit, part 2. And NASDAQ up 123. Are you shitting me? Part 3. So we're having a big day across the board. Fear still driving the market. You can see that. But is it driving the crypto market? Hell no. But here's the big news. Consumer Confidence Index rises yesterday. And guys, if you just go look at the chart yesterday, Consumer Confidence Index comes out and then boom, crypto's off like a rocket. And then the overseas markets take charge. Now, what did I say was going to happen? I said that we're going to have at least I said once we've had 24 hours to digest what's going on with Binance, And look, everything is damning, but life goes on. So what was going to happen is that the rest of the world was going to pick back up after 24 hours of, oh man, and we're going to start pumping. So what happened? 24 hours later, we started pumping. But what we did get in the meantime was that consumer confidence report. And that was really high. The consumer confidence was at 104.2 in March. Labor market differential fell from 38.4, fell to 38.8 from 40.7. Goods trade deficit rises 0.6 to 91.6 billion in February, and the annual house price growth slows further in January. So, and these are all the things. First of all, if you see annual house price growth start to slow down and hopefully lower just a little bit, not for those of you that are landowners, for those of you that are property owners, I'm not trying to fudge your property or your house or anything like that, but for the health of the market, you do have to see a correction, especially when the Fed is going out of its way to raise interest rates, creating a run on housing. So we want to see the effects and the positive results of what it is that we're doing in this quantitative tightening sort of area, even if we are easing off the gas with the banks. So this is an important move, and it's a great thing to see because that also helps to temper their need to continue raising rates. So, we might be looking at a bit of a reversal. Now, we continue to hear reports from the United States that the banks are all healthy and that everything is fine. We haven't seen that other shoe drop yet. It is entirely possible that we do see it. So I don't know if we do or we don't, but we're going to find out pretty soon whether or not it does. Now, altcoin season? Hell no. As soon as I said that, by the way, if you remember last night, we were talking about what percentages and how all of these other cryptocurrencies were having just nice little runs and that they were going crazy. Do you know what happened? Bitcoin went out of its mind and ran up. And you can see right here, we put this down a little while back saying that this 28.5 kind of level here, that was going to be the big move. Now, if you're wondering why it bounced off that green line, well, Jesus Christ, it's because I circled the goddamn thing a couple of days ago. I don't know why it's respecting those lines. This is 100% an accident. Even if we did test my magical line for support or resistance, and we tested it 2 times over here for resistance because we're cool like that. And why did we test it? And why did we consolidate right at the line that I circled? It's pure coincidence, right? Or is it? Anyway, so it's really crazy here, right? That we're sitting here testing this area because guess what, guys? So many people have come out when I said, look, in December, I told you guys this was going to happen. Nobody believed me. Everybody said, no, man, we're in a bear market. It's going to be like super bear. We're going to be like so bearish that like bears are going to be mating with bears and they're going to make other bears. And all the bears are going to be bearish because that's how bears are made. So happy bearishness. And you some bitches haven't been right at all. Not at all. What you should do is every one of you guys should go look at your husbands and slap them in the faces and hope that they slap you back. Maybe not with a hand. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what you're talking about, right? The only person that really gets it in cryptocurrency at this point, this guy. However, then we get to January and it starts actually happening. And then everybody is like, man, it's going to happen. Here we go. We're going up to whatever fucking stupid numbers these guys were given. But what did I say? I said, we're going to go to 21.4. We're going to go to 27.7. Then we're going to go to 30,000, right? What do? We're still doing it. And it's still pumping. It's still going up. Now, I get annoyed as shit when I get over here and I buy in right here. And then I get a dip like this and I'm down. And then I can come up here and then I got to exit just to clear myself and make a little bit of profit instead of being able to ride it all the way up. I get annoyed as shit when that happens, but it's still going up. So, what am I complaining about really? Right. And then here's the thing, as long as look, the hotter Bitcoin burns, and I want you guys to understand that the hotter Bitcoin burns, the better we get overall, the better this whole thing plays out when it becomes altcoin season, because if people who are invested in Bitcoin get fat on the lamb, then they are going to cascade that money down into these altcoins, and we are going to have just massive massive runs because people are looking to make these plays. They're looking to make these moves right now, and we're all going to be part of it, right? Like, we're going to be here for it, and we're all going to get sent, I would hope. So anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the news for a second. Just me taking victory lap after victory lap after victory lap this year. You know what I mean? So Volt, no, not Volt. John Deaton has put out a tweet that says XRP has the most attractive risk-reward ratio, in my opinion. The judge's ruling is coming down within the next few weeks. If the SEC wins, what's the downside from 0.45? Ripple appeals, and we get the status quo. Ripple wins, and it's made clear XRP isn't a security. Upside. Yeah, you know, that is true. But the question for John Deaton, that John Deaton is not really, they did exactly, Ripple did everything that the SEC says that they did, right? The question is, it a security with XRP? Well, XRP should not be included, and Judge Torres should be recognizing that at this point, saying that this was Ripple, and this was the Ripple token, and it was Ripple Labs, and XRP is not like this should be removed, and hopefully they're going to get a favorable ruling in that context. But Ripple did exactly what the SEC alleges they did. There's nothing that they didn't do. So I'm absolutely fascinated by how this plays out. But here, in the meantime, buy the rumor, sell the news, right? So what are people doing? They are buying the shit out of this XRP rumor. Look at this right now. From March the 20th at 37 cents up to now, 58 cents. Like, XRP has been going absolutely crazy. So very cool news. And if you haven't already and you don't have any XRP and you are interested, and if you think that it is a buy at this level, do you know where you can buy it? VoltiChange. Because it is available on VoltiChange if you want to buy XRP, even though not available on most centralized exchanges in the country of the United States, that is, it is still available on VoltiChange. So if you want some, you can go get it there. Now, in the meantime, let's get back over here and move on. SEC Chair Gary Gensler to testify before Congress. Now, Patrick McHenry, who is the chair over there, has issued a statement, okay? In a recent interview, Representative Patrick McHenry, chairman of the Financial Services Committee, confirmed that Gensler will appear before the committee on April 18. McHenry said that the SEC chief would face questions regarding his approach to rulemaking and digital assets. McHenry stated that this will be the first oversight hearing with the SEC. All facets of the American financial services industry, including banking, securities, digital assets, are within the purview of the House Financial Services Committee. The group holds significant control over the SEC. Moreover, it will discuss laying down a regulatory sphere for digital assets. And if you think that Gary Gensler is not pissed off that he's being called to task over what it is that he's doing, and listen, Patrick McHenry does believe in cryptocurrency. He is a pro cryptocurrency guy, but he doesn't understand, and none of them, and they've spoken publicly, they don't understand why this is happening. Why is Gary Gensler being the way that Gary Gensler is being? So there's absolutely no understanding of what is going on. And I think with that being said, it is very important that we recognize that, that dude cray, you know what I mean? Like that dude cray. And he is, aside from a little bit cray, he has a serious task, I think, in his mind. And I really think that his task here came from Goldman Sachs. I really think that everything that he's doing is designed to make sure that dollars are okay, right? I think that that's what he wants to do. And let me tell you, the Financial Services Committee, this House Financial Services Committee, and all these people, they've got to get, and look, they have to get the SEC in line, because here's the issue, right? Over the last couple of days, you've seen Russia, you've seen China, you've seen Iran, Saudi Arabia, you've seen a bunch of different countries talking about, we're going to move away from the US dollar. Now, if we move away from the US dollar, it could potentially have some serious and catastrophic consequences for the United States, including, but not limited to, massive levels of inflation. Now, if that happens, we're put in a very compromising sort of scenario and situation. However, here's the funny thing. Let's go over here and let's look. USDT. Why do you think it's called USD? Because it's stable towards the US dollar. Why do you think USDC is called USDC? Because it's stable to the US dollar. Every single one of these up and down the line that is a stable coin is pegged, even Binance is pegged to the US dollar. So here's what you can't be, okay? If you want the US dollar to be what people want to run their money through, if you want to be the clearinghouse, if you want to be the reason that people trade and what people trade with, then guess what? You better get your shit together and you better stop fighting the people who respect your US dollar and who are making it easy for people to transact with US dollars. And that includes digital assets. So Gary Gensler, you're fucking up. Stop doing that. Anyway, most of everything in here is pegged to the US dollar. Everything here is traded based on the US dollar. That is the way cryptocurrency works. So adopt it and shut the fuck up, right? That being said, drink. USDB has launched, which is the US dollar Bitcoin-backed stablecoin, which is starting its beta testing phase today. Its unique approach of shorting Bitcoin through its inverse perpetual swap. Will it bring back the trust in stablecoins? We're gonna see how this plays out. It's in beta test right now. Julian Beltran, the chief technology officer of Stablecoin, told Global Newswire that there's a clear market demand from users for a reliable stablecoin choice given the collapse of UST, as well as witnessing the recent instability caused by the depegging of USDC, followed by the recent bank failures we've seen this year with USDB. Stablecoin is helping to unlock a new era of transparency, privacy-preserving, fast, inexpensive, secure, and interoperable exchange across the globe. So we'll see whether or not they can do this. This is a potential groundbreaker, but here is the problem. This is the problem, and you do have to recognize this, even if we're super excited about it. Here's this inverse perpetual swap. It uses unique approach of shorting Bitcoin through an inverse perpetual. This means that it's not pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar yet. So I'm not sure. I'm going to have to see the white paper. I'm going to really have to look and dig into this before I can say that is a great idea, but it is a good idea, certainly, to continue to do this. And another example of the USD still being the reason that we're trading on crypto, or at least the dollar equivalent of it. So kudos there. Like that's going to be really cool. Hope that plays out pretty well. Anyway, Gary Gensler, you're fucking up. Now, Bitcoin technical analysis. Bitcoin back above 28,000 following U.S. consumer confidence report. This is another tale of the tape, so to speak. Just want you guys to see 28,619 earlier today was the number that we got up to. And let's see how this plays. ETH rose to 1825.60, almost 1830. I keep telling you guys, like, I really think that Ethereum, just based on the supply, having all of this down, it's so bullish right now for Ethereum. I really think that Ethereum is about to go on some special sort of run. Now, if you have not, I don't even know what the goddamn name of it is anymore, because it was Shangapella because it's Shanghai, but now it's Shagapella for Shaghai. I don't know what the fuck Shaghai is, right? But Shangapella is coming out in the next couple of days, and I think people are taking for granted, by the way, that they know exactly what it is. So, but staking is going to be unlocked, and then you're going to be able to lock more for staking through Ethereum. So it's actually a very good thing that it's happening. But, it's important to recognize here. I think Ethereum is going to get on just a special run with a top. I think that the top on Ethereum, like, no joke, I do think we're at 2104 for sure. But look, I think we're at $3,000 on Ethereum very soon. Like, I really think very soon. Now, I did say, and I did tell you guys, that I think that Bitcoin is headed. And look at that jumble of mess. Jesus Christ, like I got issues. This jumble of mess right here tells me that Bitcoin is going to 54,000. Now that means that Bitcoin price is going to about double. So does that mean Ethereum is going to go to 3,600? Well, no, I think it's going to go to 4,500. But the 3,000, I think it's going to go to 3,000 way faster than Bitcoin. I think it's going to pump before Bitcoin, right? And I think it's going to get way, way, way up there. And that we're going to see something crazy start to happen, including I think right here, this 3581, like I think this top over here, this is right before any and everything, even rumors started. Yeah, baby. 3,600 could potentially be there. And then on and on, like we're not that far. I mean, you really could look at this and you zoom out, like we're not that far away from getting back to this all-time high. Like we are just one incredible sort of relief rally away. We are a few bank failures and bailouts away from all-time highs on all kinds of crypto. People are starting to get real nervous about where cryptos are and what's going on. So I just have this feeling that we're about to witness an explosion. And oh my God, SHIB, I said, was going to have a breakout, and of course it's just going sideways again. So I hate when SHIB just goes sideways, you know what I mean? But anyway, so these guys, look, there is a breakout coming, so just pay attention to it because it's getting ready to happen. Now, analysts say Binance's $2.2 billion in outflows don't suggest a bank run, but they use the word yet. So guys, here's what I'm telling you, and I'm saying this in no uncertain terms. Get your money off Binance. If you don't get your money off Binance and you are holding on to the idea that CZ Binance, the billionaire, one of the richest people in the world, is some kind of benevolent guy, you are kidding yourself on Sam Bankman-Fried levels, okay? Get your money out of Binance. Now, if you're going to trade on Binance, fine, trade on Binance, but don't trade more than you're willing to lose, and don't put yourself in a compromising position of losing any of your capital, right? Don't do a Gareth Soloway. And I don't know if you know who Gareth Soloway is, but Gareth Soloway is a great investor, long-term guy who he does a whole bunch of videos and stuff like that. But he goes in super hard the other day on SBNY, which is Signature Bank, right? He goes in because he sees a 70% chance that at $90 right here. So he goes in right over here at $90.76 on the 3rd of March. 1% of his portfolio, which I might add, he's got $100 million in his portfolio. Okay. So I'm not, look, he puts $1 million into $90. He goes to sleep at $70 thinking that there's a 70% chance that this thing pumps super hard and that he makes 40% profit. That's what he was going for. He goes to sleep on Friday. He wakes up the next day, it's at 13 cents. It was actually 58 cents when he exited his position. He lost 99% of his capital in $1 million trade. And that, my friends, is Gareth Soloway, the guy who keeps telling you Bitcoin's going to 10,000. Obviously, he's not always right. Not like me anyway, but it's just be so careful. And this is just one of the examples. This is a pro trader who's been doing this for 25 years, who we all respect and we go to, and we're looking for, like, what's the structure of a trade? How do you trade? What's the best? What are your strategies? What are the things that you want to learn? I learned from this guy. And I also learned what not to do from this guy. So right here, he gets in $90.76 on March 9th. Within days, he goes to bed and wakes up and it's down at 13 cents. Lost everything on that. So, and again, not all, it's just 1% of his portfolio, but that 1% is $1 million. He lost $999,000 on that trade for Signature Bank in just like 2 days, just gone. So don't get in positions like that. Don't put yourself in those positions. If anything happens to Binance, then your money is locked up in there forever, and you may or may not see it, or So put the money that you're willing to risk and that you're willing to trade with on there and do your trading. That's how they make their money anyway. They don't make their money from storing your crypto, right? They make their money from you doing transactions anyway. So you're not harming Binance by taking your money out. You're not harming them by doing that. Unless they're using your money for something they're not supposed to be using it for. Always remember that. Otherwise, they're going to be just fine. Also, Binance obscured links to China for the Financial Times. China banned crypto in 2017 and 2018 and twice in 2019, 2020, 21, and none, by the way, in 2022, I might add. So, and Shanghai is about to become a crypto hub in June. So, any update on Phantom Project? Phantom Project is still negotiating the release of their IP from the developers DevPro, and that's the only update that I have. A couple of offers have been made and exchanged back and forth, but the lawsuit was dropped, and they're working on getting the Phantom app so that they can launch it. It's still got a little bit that they've got to do to finish it, but it will be launched at some point soon. Soon as they get it. And of course, with crypto pumping, the value of the money that they have that they had before that was way down when this all started is now going back up. So they have a much better leverage position in order to negotiate with. So there's going to be good things happening for Phantom at some point, just not yet. And it's just one guy right now, Matthew, working his way through it, trying to get that deal done. So anyway, it is unfortunate that anonymous sources are citing ancient history and dramatically mischaracterizing events. This is not an accurate signature of Binance's operations. To be clear, the Chinese government, like any other government, has no access to Binance data except where we are responding to lawful and legitimate law enforcement requests. So lawful and legitimate in China basically means if China wants it, you have to give it to them. So when they say that, it's disingenuous to what their complaint is. When the complaint is not being answered, it's just being browsed over, and they're not just I just really hate to see when something like that happens. So guys, watch out for what's going on Binance. At any moment there could be a problem, and I think financially they're fine. I don't think there's any reason to question whether they're fine or not. They were the first one to use proof of reserves and improve to some advanced proof of reserve so that you know exactly what's going on. They're very transparent in many regards. So I think financially they are in an okay, if not great, an okay position, and could be made whole if there was a bank run in some way. But I would be nervous, and it would be, look, it would be gross negligence on my behalf if I did not tell you that my opinion is, if I were doing business with Binance, and I am not, but if I were doing business on Binance, I would get all of my money off of Binance, and I would only keep what I was trading. And then once I was done trading or profiting or whatever it is, then I would move it off, and I would not leave it there unless I'm willing to risk losing it, or at least having it delayed for 6 to 8 months with no profit. Because remember, if you lose $10,000 to Binance, you don't get $10,000 worth of whatever crypto it is. You may only get the $10,000. That might be exactly how the bankruptcy court sees it and works it. They'll take the value of it when you were there, liquidate it, and then you only get your original investment and not the profits that you could have made off of it. So again, you have nothing to lose by making sure that your money is on a decentralized DeFi wallet away from centralized exchanges, because not your keys, not your crypto still applies. And hey, while we're on that subject, do you ever see an article that looks really weird and you just have no idea, like, how do you even rationalize this in your brain? Because sometimes you see stuff and you're like, well, that doesn't make any goddamn sense, right? And if it doesn't make any sense, what are they really saying, right? So this article comes out and it says 687 trillion 170 billion Shiba Inu now in the hands of long-term holders based on on-chain data. Now, I think I want you guys to digest this for 1 second here. 687 trillion Shiba Inu now in the hands of long-term. And this, by the way, this went through an editor. It has to. Daily Hodl has to have an editor that looks at this. They don't just like randomly post ridiculous shit without it being looked at, right? So 687 trillion Shiba Inu now in the hands of long-term holders on-chain data. Okay. Shiba Inu only has a circulating supply of 589 trillion. Now, in the event that you have 687 trillion in the hands of long-term holders, how do they have more than the circulating supply? Which means and invalidates every goddamn thing that this article really represents, okay, or purports to represent. So what you're probably looking at is a massive amount in the dead wallet, and you're calling that a long-term holder, and that's very disingenuous about, you know, this is just kind of crazy that we're having to have that we're looking at a magazine, an online a respected journal telling you that it's really good that most of the tokens, more than even exist, are being held by long-term holders. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, we should be able to at least agree that that's a little bit bonkers and like psycho. Like, it's just crazy. But here we have the holder wallets, and basically what you're saying here is this null and dead wallet right here of $410 trillion is a long-term holder. So what you're really saying is that 277 trillion tokens are being held by long-term holders. So, but I mean, it's just kind of crazy that nobody fact checked that shit at any point. Look at this, by the way. Binance Wallet has 47 trillion here, 30 trillion here. Jesus Christ, they've got a lot. The crypto.com has 7.7 trillion, another Binance with 4 trillion in it, KuCoin with 4 trillion, just so many. Binance has so many SHIB tokens. But guys, that kind of shit's just crazy. Like, I don't like when I see these articles that are poorly done like that, because it does nothing to encourage me to say, hey, good job. But anyway, now that the markets are open, Dow Jones is off and running. Dow Jones is up 0.72% at 230 so far for the day. There is a gap right there. Hopefully that gap doesn't get filled. Hopefully we still see this continue to run up and we have a nice little relief day, because I think the U.S. market has been in need of it. Now, when I say that, I also say that knowing that we've been on this downtrend for a while and we did break out of it, and we got into this little spot right here. And what I say, best thing that would happen would be is if we settled above it. We have not settled below it at any point. So this is great. This has been a fantastic sort of bounce and a fantastic sort of relief. So the market is like the forest is healing itself. Oh my God, I need help. Anyway, so that's a pretty good sign. It's good to see that the market is starting to reverse and bounce off of this support line, which was a resistance for, look at this. This was since 2021. This has been a resistance line for over a year, and now it's bouncing out and becoming a support line. So hopefully that means we can continue to bump our way up along the way. Now, in the meantime, we've got Bitcoin over here trading in at, look at that big green candle. So what we're looking for, by the way, on this today is we want to see Bitcoin hit 30,000, right? Not that far away. Not that far away. There could be a big run. Now, when I look at, by the way, if we go back to the day and we kind of zoom out here and we get just an idea on the volume profile, what it looks like, I do think that it probably represents a pretty significant sort of fight that we're going to see. Because as you can see right here, like we went through that golden pocket, we still have low volume. You see here, we're trending right now and trading in a place with high volume, but this right here, this little area right here is going to act as big resistance all the way up to 30,000 and then above that. But if we get above that, then let's come out here and let's look a little bit further. So we've got a long way to go, but crypto wants to settle in the high trade places. So we have to remember that, and that has to be spots, right? So we've got 30,000 right here, and then we've got 30,700 right here. And then up here, we've got this big one right here, and that is 38,900, which is where I've got the green line. And then up here, we want it to settle at 47.5, and then we want it to settle at 57.5. So we've got our places are already set right here. These are the spots that Bitcoin wants to move to. So along the way, you should always remember these. We should always remember that the big hotspot 38,002, big hotspot 47,003, big hotspot 57,005. That's where Bitcoin wants to settle. Now, if we looked at it on Ethereum, you probably see kind of about the same sort of bag, so to speak. And our big settlement over here is going to be where we are. A big settlement is going to be where we are. Ethereum, look, if Ethereum keeps breaking out the way that it is, by the way, then we don't have a ton of resistance. There's resistance all the way up, but it does not look like Bitcoin, right? So maybe right here at 26, maybe look again right here that's where the little pump out is, right at 3,000. So it looks a little bit different on this one. So but here's the other good part. Let's remove the volume profile, and we want to zoom in one more time and check this out. All of this time, and guess what? We are still respecting this channel all the way up to the top here. It just continues to go, which does mean, by the way, that going through April into May, we could be as high as 2,000. Now, I think there's a breakout before that. I do think that we're going to have, I think we're going to bust out of here and we're going to start using this as support. We're going to have a run, but it is kind of moving through here and making its way. So, and the other part to that is, while I say that, do not forget, because it is just this easy a couple days ago for all of this to come crashing back down after it bounces into this area and come back down and test like this 1,500 line. But to remember, this line has been coming around for this has been for a while here. This goes back to September of last year. This line has been respected in one way or another. And you probably make an argument, if I really kind of pulled it out here, that it goes all the way back to this area too. And then if I pulled it out even further, I have a feeling that I'm going to touch some major lines right in here along the way. So I really think that this probably is just a very long-term sort of support line. So I do think that we're in a pretty good position right now. Now, I'm looking for an entry point. I don't have an entry point for you guys right now. It is getting crazy. And thank you for the $100 bomb, Richie's Plain Talk. Please, I have a 3D with audio that will be done in a blind box drop. It's a collectible. 96% of the money is going to Luna Classic for half to be burned, half to L1 or wherever they want it to show if they can see it on my site. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's absolutely fine. Thank you for the $100 bomb, man. I appreciate that. I had a 3D audio, just so you guys know, I had a 3D audio that will be done in a blind box drop. It's a collectible. 96% of the money is going to Luna Classic for half to be burned and half to the L1 or wherever they want to use it. I can send you one to show off if they can see it on my site. So if you want to, yeah, I'll reach at BLEEVESCRYPTO on Twitter, and then I'll send you my information if you want to send something over. CEO 100 in the house with the $10 bomb. What's up, bro? Thoughts on Google's new AI named Bard? They just released a token last week. As a matter of fact, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for my approval. I just put it in a couple days ago, so I haven't really seen it yet. But I am waiting to see what happens with Bard. I'm certainly interested. Google does everything to the best of their ability, so I would have no reason to think that they're not going to do a great job. So, but back to this. On the way down here, I'm looking for a spot here where I can enter, because I exited again. I took my money over here and it continued to pump, and I didn't want to come back in. Now I could have come in over the 200 SMA. I was looking at that, but I'd also just gotten out at 1755, made a little bit of profit. So I was waiting to see maybe we can get down here to the 50 SMA. But if there's any kind of reversal and move down, then I'm going to be a buyer when I get into this range right here. Because that should be a nice little dip to go through. And I'm going to probably shy away from 1780 at this point, because I think that I would like to see this thing break down a little bit more and at least test this move right here. If I can test that, and then of course the 50-day is about to go up, so this thing might just continue on, but I would like to see a little bit of a retracement. You can see right here, we're wicking up here, which we wicked up here, and it came back down, and we had a little bit of a drop. So I'm looking for an entry position, and the dollar amount of the entry position doesn't really matter. Just the ability to do that is very important, right? So we've got the wicks up here, we've got it coming down here, but the problem is that the market is super bullish right now. So you can see here, like, this is significant because it says, hey, the price is coming down, right? Well, this 3 hammers in a row generally means that we're heading back up. So I don't know how this plays out, but I'm going to be on the sidelines until I get some clarity in the market. There's not going to be any harm in the long term of kind of playing it out. So I'm going to be sitting there waiting for that moment to kind of re-enter. So let's move on real quick because it's about time for me. Hex is up 18%, pumping back up to 82.95. Floki's up 10% on the day at 35.11. Wiz is at 20.99. Terra at 30.65. Bone at $1.08. Still not in a buy zone, but still just sort of idling its way through. Saitama at 18.81, having a small reversal. Volt at 16.48. Did have a move, continuing to move back up from that 1,500 bounce. So that's definitely a good sign. Would like to see this come down, test that for support, at least move it and keep going. 13.77 on Cato, 59.19 on Lillian, 49.76 on Decanect. Shib, again, we talked about that trading at 10.70. I do expect Shib, by the way, to go to 11.45 in pretty short order. MMAI at 39.77, WAGMI 60.47, BRL 88.61, NGN at 55. By the way, NGN DJ Legend's birthday is going to be on the 2nd of the month, and they're going to be doing a buy party on the 2nd of the month. So if you are interested in NGN, right now is going to be the time to accumulate because the community is going to be doing a community buy to celebrate on April the 2nd, DJ Legend's birthday. So if you're interested in that, then by all means, it is an opportunity to get yourself in on what might be a little pump. Like grab a little, get this low area down here. And then maybe, it's always important to feel good about your investment. So when you see it go up, again, like I look at this, and even though it was $1 the other day and it's 55 cents now, I'm still up 27x. So I'm still happy with the position. So, and that's very important. Like you always want to feel good about the position that you're in. And I feel good about that even at 55 cents. So, but anyway, that's my time. I got to get going. So guys, thank you for tuning in today. This is not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I am always right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Richie, I appreciate you. Crypto, I appreciate you. 10 more subscriptions by Richie to the channel. By the way, if you were not a member right now, you probably could be a member at this point if you go check. And if not, memberships are $4.99 per month. And I appreciate that. And we do have some people who are cult members, and I had to use cult because of cult. But there are people here who are cult members, and there are people here who are what's called true believers. $4.99 makes you a believer. $9.99 makes you a true believer. $19.99 puts you in the cult of believes, and then $49.99 or $99.99 makes you a different level of cult member. So if you haven't already and you're interested in security, make sure NordVPN. If you're interested in futures trading, BitGet, you do get a bonus here up to $5,000 from BitGet if you sign up with them and deposit, I think $1,000. So you might get a nice little futures run. And look, if you're trading futures or if you're looking, look, that's the way the guys make the big money, right? Like we know that at this point. So go make the big money. You know what I mean? Like do yourself a favor. Make sure that you make the right play. Make sure that you put yourself in the right position. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys again very soon. We'll see you tonight for Bedtime with Bleeves. In the meantime, outro incoming in 3, 2, 1. Wait a minute. Let's get reminded one time. We got to get reminded one time of this.
So number 1 is Sandbox. Number 2 And number 3, some coins I've been talking about a lot and speaking very favorably of, you gotta go with FTT.
You heard it right. You heard it right. BitBoy said, oh, I never said anything like that. I would never do anything. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay, bro. Anyway, here's the outro.
Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way, so everybody gets sideways. Sing it.